This meeting is being recorded.
Okay. So, всем привет. Hello everyone. We will have this meeting in English. Later you will receive the video of it, and somewhere next week we'll try to make the essence in Russian. I'll try in Ukrainian, but I think faster will be if I do it in Russian. And we will also send that to you. I'll ask everyone to mute yourselves. Please mute your microphones. I also can do it, but just now I cannot. Okay, I think I found the person who was making noise. Okay, so make sure that your microphones are muted. If you can keep your video on, will be nice. And also the speaker will see your reaction, so it will be easier to speak when you see like live humans. Why are we meeting today? A lot of you, for very sad reasons, moved to Portugal. And now when you are more or less adjusted to your new life situation, you started having questions about how to declare your income, how to register a company, how to open individual entrepreneur thingy. We, in our project from Ukraine to Portugal, I am one of the creators. On the first day of war, my husband David and I, we created this project where we helped indirectly thousands of Ukrainians, and now in Figueira de Foz, we work in person with 200 people. It was in August. We noticed that a lot of our people have misunderstandings and doubts about the Portuguese financial system. And we've talked to Susanna. I know Susanna for several years. She is a top-level accountant in Portugal. Very hard to get to her, but she answered and she agreed to spend this evening with us. I've collected around 200 questions from you. I've divided them into several topics. I eliminated repetitive ones. Then I passed it to Susanna. So now she has already the main idea what questions you guys are having. First 40 minutes, Susanna will be given a lecture. And then in the end, we will have a Q&A session when you'll be able to turn on your microphone and ask Susanna a question. Maybe she'll be able to answer it if it's about the topic. So let's go.
Hello, my name is Susanna, and as Katya said, I work for a long time in this business. I'm a business developer and I have a company of accountancy. So I would like to help you with all these questions about taxes because I know the information it's not very accessible, and not because it is in Portuguese, but even so, when it is in Portugal, it's not accessible. Okay. So I've seen all the questions, and Katya divided for context. So I will try to first begin with the non-habitual residence, because I think it's the main question for all of you, because you have here the temporary residency, and you don't know if you contain this residency or if you want to change to non-habitual residency. Sorry. So everyone here, everyone that's here in Portugal for 183 days or have a lease contract on house stating that this is a permanent residency, can be a non-habitual residence. This has a lot of tax benefits. As you all know, now that you have temporary protection, you already have those kind of benefits, but in other way, because you need to register on the tax office portal to be a non-habitual. So all this is for a 10-year span, all these benefits. After 10 years, the benefits will not remain, and everyone will pay taxes like the Portuguese pay taxes. Okay, so I have here a list of, I don't know, I gather information for all of your questions. Then I have here the main question: is there a tax exemption if you don't have to pay taxes? Yes, it's true. You don't have to pay taxes in a lot of things, not everything. So all passive income, like from dividends, royalties, house rent from another country, for a foreign country, you don't have to pay any taxes. You don't have double tributation, you don't have anything, because we have an agreement with other countries on Europe. Ukraine is included, and a lot of other countries are included. So all passive income, from a lot of questions that you have, dividends, I don't know, savings accounts, everything, you don't need to pay any taxes, even if those saving accounts are in a Portuguese bank account. Okay, so it's your money. The Portuguese government only wants to know what you received in Portugal. Even if in the IRS you can state what you received in another country, you're not going to be taxated for that. Okay, so there's a lot of situations. You can be here not working and it be a non-habitual residency, because you can have pension from other countries, or you can have like incomes from other countries, like these passive incomes that I just said. You don't have to pay taxes to be here. You go to the supermarket, you go everywhere, you already pay the tax of the VAT. So that's the only tax there is for you. But if you have a work income for a foreign institution, for example, you are here working remote to Ukraine, but in Ukraine, there's a company that retains taxes and contributions for you in Ukraine. If there is the case, you don't need to pay contributions or taxes here. Okay, but if you're working for a company in Ukraine that doesn't pay their contribution and taxes, you need to pay them here. You just need to pay in one country. The benefits of the non-habitual residence or the temporary protection that you have is that all those taxes are taxated until the limit of 20%. It doesn't go above that limit. So the 20% is the beneficial tax, okay? But I can discuss this later, because it's going to be about activities and about all the things that you do in Portugal with your corporate and activity. So if you work here, you are unemployed, for example. So, and you have a company here in Portugal that wants to make a contract with you. If the total amount per month is until 705 euros, that's the minimum wage, you don't have to pay any taxes. You just have to pay contributions. That is 11%. The pay slip, you will see a minus 11%. That is for Social Security. And that Social Security is beneficial for you, because not only gives you access to unemployment subsidies, or gives you access to health conditions or subsidies if you get sick, it will beneficiate you in the future. Even if you go back to the origin country, you can later ask for a pension here in Portugal for those months and years that you've worked here. Okay, so it's not 11% for nothing. It's 11% for your situation exclusively. If you are working in the famous B category, what's the B category? It's the green receipts. I don't know if you already heard of the green slips. It's the green receipts that you open an activity here in Portugal to work for other companies, for Portuguese companies, UA companies, or extra UA companies. So if you make a green receipt to other countries than Portugal, you have exemption of VAT, and you have exemption of IRS, but VAT because you are making green slips and you're making activities to other countries, and to other countries we don't have to pay VAT, they don't have to pay us, but you don't have to pay IRS. But after 1 year, in 2023, for example, regarding 2021, there's a 20% tax over the global income on pay slips. Okay, so this is the famous B category, but all of you are in the 20% top. So me, I'm born Portuguese, right? And if I make those green slips, I don't have the top of 20%. I can go as high as 47%, okay, tax. So that's a really good benefit. So I would like to talk to you about, I don't know if a lot of you have companies, if a lot of you have activities or are freelancers or remote companies, because there's something that worries me and a lot of questions were regarding that. Yes, you have to pay taxes, like I said, if you're not paying taxes in another country. For example, if you work for Germany and Germany gives you a contract and they are saying like you have a German contributive number and we're paying taxes for you here. You don't need to pay taxes here, but the Portuguese government is going to ask for info for the German country to see if the contributions are made. But if the German company says, no, you have to give me an invoice because I want to send you money for the bank account, the Portuguese bank account. And we are known for every time there's a 2,000 euros transfer to a Portuguese bank account, there's a red flag in the Portugal bank, like, where did this money come from? You just need to justify it. You can say it's for my savings account in Ukraine. I can send you the print of my bank account in Ukraine and you justify that 2,000 euros are from that. But if it is, I don't know, 6,000 euros for a German company, they will ask, okay, so if you work for a German company, you need to ask for an invoice, you need to have an invoice for this amount. This is the way to pay taxes here. For you to give that invoice, you need to open activity here. When you open activity here, you are a resident right now. So you have the same benefit as all of us. The first time we open activity, we have 1 year of exemption of Social Security. So you need to open activity here and invoice the other companies of other countries of what you're receiving on your bank account. So after that, you have a lot of options. You have one option that is, it's called the individual employment. It's a non-organized accountancy. And if you are receiving lower incomes, if you are receiving, I don't know, 20,000 per year, if you are receiving 20,000 per year, the government is going to say, okay, so I'll give you a tax of 20% of the 80% of overall income. But if it is, I don't know, 30, 40%, 40,000 a year, I would recommend to open the activity with the organized accountancy, because there they don't taxate you on the global income, they taxate you on the profit. So that's very beneficial for you, because if you made 40,000 years but you only profit 5,000 years, you're just going to pay taxes for 4,000 years, not for all the profit of 40,000, okay? There's other situations. Everyone in the world can open a company in Portugal, a limited company. So everyone can do that. Sometimes it is when you have a lot of customers, when you have a lot of clients, a lot of suppliers. Sorry,
Can you please mute yourself? I cannot find who that is. Metro. Okay,
Okay,
I muted.
sorry,
Sorry.
Kathy. If you can open your own company here in Portugal, everyone can do it. And if you open your company here, the taxes will be lower. That's because you have a pay slip per month. It's not about your global income. It's you as an individual work for your own company, but it's the same thing as working for a Portuguese company. So you work for your own company, you have the same beneficial taxes and everything, and contributions for social security, everything, and that will deduct to all the expenses or the income, and the profit will be lower and the taxes will be lower. So it's 17% tax until 15,000 €50,000 a year of profit, and 21% after 15,000 a year profit. So this is beneficial for a lot of you that have big activities, e-commerce activities with a lot of clients, a lot of suppliers, everything, because you can place everything under the company, and the responsibility of the individual is a limited responsibility. It gives you access to supports from the government. It gives you access to have exemptions of social security if you want to hire people for internships. It gives you access to a lot of things. So let me just check the question, sorry. I think I covered almost. Oh, the declaration of all this income and all these taxes. This is something we only do once a year. It's from 1 of April until 30 of June. So it's when we say to the tax office, we say, okay, I've been here since this date till this date in 2022, and I want to declare what I received. So please tell me which taxes do I have. So they make all these compensations to see it, but if you receive until 705, you don't have any taxes, so you don't receive and you don't pay. But if you have, for example, €1,000, and if you supply your contributive number to doctors, to supermarkets, to a lot of things, you can deduct those amounts of VAT on the taxes that you need to pay. So IRS, it's an individual way of pay taxes, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be the 20%. It can be 2%, it can be 5%, 7%. We have a table that does that. If you have more kids, it could lower. If you are married to someone that is unemployed, it would lower. If you two, husband and wife, they both have receive income, it would go higher. But you have more kids, it would go lower. So there's a table, a big table that comes out every 6 months that gives you statement of all the taxes that you have on our income, especially on the pay slip, that is when you work for a Portuguese company. Let me see more questions. Where is it? Okay, the percentage. Yes, I covered all of this. Katja, do you want me to read some questions or something to help you context things?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay, so if a Ukrainian has been in Portugal for more than 183 days, does it automatically become the tax residence of Portugal? What should I do in this case? Every one of the Ukrainians that came here with a temporary protection are already resident. So if you choose to stay, and if you file on the tax office portal the certificate of residency here in Portugal, yes, you will be a non-habitual resident. So you just need to submit a declaration of income, the tax declaration, only if you received an amount higher than 705 euros per month. If you didn't receive that amount, if it was lower, you don't need to submit a declaration of income. If a Ukrainian has income in Ukraine, what exactly will be considered as an income of a physical person and what income will have to be declared? So if you are Ukraine, has an income there, and if you pay taxes in Ukraine, if someone pays taxes for you in Ukraine, the company, you just need to declare in the IRS what you received there, but you don't have any taxes because of that, okay? Please tell me how to get the status of a tax of non-residency in the tax office to pay taxes on income received in Portugal. So this is what I was telling you about. After you certified in the tax office portal as a non-habitual resident, the taxes that you pay on income, it's for the company. You won't have any taxes here. Or if you're working for other countries, but you have green slips here, you just have the tax of 20%, okay? So then I have here how to open a private entrepreneur here in Portugal. So there's 3 ways. There's the ways of the opening activity and making green slips. So it has a higher tax because if it is above 20,000 or 30,000, it's just a referral. I'm here, right?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
thank you. I cannot see the window. This is not, something's happening to Zoom. I don't know. Okay.
It's okay. We can see and hear you. Yeah, perfectly. Thanks.
So you can open that. You can be, if it is a bigger activity, you can have the situation of the accountancy, to have accountancy, to have less profit, to have less taxes for the profit, or you can open a small company or a big one. We don't know. There's only it's a support. It's like a grant. There's only one grant available here for Ukraine's right now. There is, I don't know, here, but it's something to move to the inside of the country. So it's interior. It's the grant is called interior territory, I think. So it will support you with 4,000 euros to open a company in the inside of the country. So that's the only support now for you, but I think there'll be others, okay? Since you're going to be resident or non-habitual resident, you're going to have the same benefits as all of us. So I'm working as a programmer by the USA company contract. How do I pay taxes in Portugal? It's the same thing. Even if it is a USA company or a European company, because there's difference on the laws, right? But it's the same thing. You don't need to make it different. So you can work as a programmer with the green pay slips or open a company or everything. So double taxation. There's no double taxation between Portugal and Ukraine, okay? Sometimes when we're making the IRS, not with Ukraine, but other countries, sometimes there's that doubt, because sometimes the government forgets there's not a double taxation and gives a note to the individual to ask why they cannot have double taxation. But it's quite easier to resolve, because there's a law by the Republic presidency, our president, that states that Ukraine and Portugal have a contract. So you just need to send a contract and say, you are wrong, we don't have double taxation. I'm just laying this out here because it already happened, but there's never been a double taxation. Sometimes they try to see why you're trying to do that, but it's just a main concern for the government to see if someone is making illegal activities, okay? So don't worry about that. So if I have income, okay, now this one already answered. How to count a tax base for self-employed persons under non-habitual residency, 20%. Royalties on non-habitual residents, 0%. And I have here one question that probably it's on the internet that's stating about the tax discounts on 50%. That's not for you. That's for Portuguese that went to other countries and now are getting back, okay? So that's not for foreigners. It's for Portuguese that were born here, left, and they are returning. They have a 50% tax discount and all the pay slips. It's different. How to pay taxes if I live on savings? I got selling real estate in Ukraine. You don't pay taxes, it's a passive income. If the German company was paying me salaries for IT work through service, and I was sending my salaries to an Ukraine, like a green slip Ukraine, to pay taxes in Ukraine, would I be obligated to pay taxes for these salaries in Portugal? No, not because you are a tax resident or non-habitual residency, but because you are already paying in another country and you don't have double taxation. Unemployment benefits received in 2022 can be declared in 2023, and how much I pay in taxes. So if they are received in 2022, if it doesn't surpass the value of 705, you don't need to be declared in 2023. My clients are legal entities in the UE. How to fill the Recibo Verde if I exceeded the turnover of 12,500 euros per year. So here, until 12,500 euros per year, it's exemption, has exemption of IRS and exemption of VAT. After this amount, in the beginning of the year in January, you need to state that this amount is bigger than 12,500 to the tax office, and you'll be obligated to pay 20% over those 12,500. These 12,500 are exempt, okay? So only over that you pay the 20%. For the VAT, you don't have, because your company that you've worked for is not in Portugal. You just have to pay VAT, receive VAT for your client if it is a Portuguese company and you live in Portugal. So I opened a bank account 2 weeks before the war and deposit parts of my savings on Ukraine. Do I need to reflect that savings deposit? No. You don't need to reflect the savings. You don't need to reflect in the tax declaration, nothing. Just your work income, just that. So someone says that probably will leave the country in January. So how should they proceed to close the contributive number, the NIF, the tax declaration, everything? So you don't need to close the NIF. There's no need for that because it's unpersonal, so it's yours, it's individual, it's not going to be used again. So a lot of people had NIF 40 years ago and still have. And the tax declaration, if you didn't have the income that I told you, you don't need to do it. If I leave the country, can I switch the NIF back to non-residential habitual to preserve a bank account in savings? Yes, you can. It's like Revolut or Wise, but the bank account is here in Portugal. I would be happy to receive links to specific laws and regulations that govern the taxation of individuals in Portugal. I already have 2 documents from the tax office to send Katya to send all of you, okay? And they are in English. Should I pay taxes? Okay, should I pay taxes in Portugal for the income which I get in Ukraine and in Poland? In Portugal, I'm still waiting for a registration for SEF. No, if you already pay taxes in Ukraine and in Poland, I believe that if you pay taxes in Poland and Ukraine, you should only be paying in one of those countries, okay? So if this person is paying taxes in a company in Ukraine and paying taxes in a company in Poland, it should be easier for this person to open an activity in Ukraine or in Poland and try to reduce those taxes only to one country. So, Katya, there's not more questions.
Okay.
So I cannot see myself, not see anyone.
We have a question in the chat. Are you able to see chat, or you want me to read it?
I'm trying, sorry.
So the question is, if I'm a private entrepreneur, work for a Ukrainian company and I pay taxes in Ukraine by myself, I'm here in temporary protection. Do I need to pay taxes? And if yes, starting from which day and how much? I think you've answered this already.
Yes, no, you don't need to pay taxes. You don't need to pay anything for being here in the temporary protection. And if you want to remain here as a non-habitual resident, even if you don't go back right now to Ukraine, you still don't pay taxes if a company in Ukraine still pays taxes for you, okay?
Thank you. Well, everything was very structured and insightful, and I think many people just breathed out with some relief, because the situation, especially for me, I learned new things and it's much better than I thought, because it was some tension now here in the community about what Portugal will do to us. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can write your questions in the chat, or you can turn on your microphone and ask a question. And we already have a question from Anatoly. If I bought a car and then sell after 8 months and get the money back to my bank account in Portugal, do I need to pay taxes for that income?
Let me see. But that person bought a car to sell as an activity, or bought a car and
no, they bought a car for personal use. And
no, so you don't need to pay anything. So because there's a lot of activities that purchase items and then sell, and there's taxes for that, but no.
So if it's not profit, then you do not pay taxes.
I'm already seeing the chat here. Okay. I'm just sign the contract. If I sign a contract to US-based company, I get income in Portugal. What do I pay? You need to answer this. I just need to know if the contract that you're signing, how are you providing the invoices for that company? If you are providing invoices and receiving the money on the Portuguese bank account, you just need to open activity to invoice this US-based company, or you need to contact with them directly and they will make all the contributions for you.
Susanna, should I provide? Please specify what it means to open an activity? That you just go to your finances portal?
Yes. So I wouldn't recommend for you to go alone to the tax office portal or to the finances. I wouldn't recommend, because they don't speak English and the portal is not in English. So there are many specifications. If you will not click in the perfect space, you can have problems later. For
I
example,
had that
if
problem. I've chosen wrong something and then it was a mess. So it's better to do it with accountant.
yes, we do it all the time because of that. And sometimes when someone is doing and says that they don't do inter-countries activity, then they cannot invoice the other countries. So that's one of the problem. The person needs to close the activity and open a company because of that mistake. Okay, so there's a lot of specifications of opening activity, and it is really a simple thing, but it's not so simple because of the laws, and you need to know everything to know if you have the right exemptions, if you have the right VAT, if you have the right everything. Okay, so should I provide any information in my company, pay taxes for me? If the company is Portuguese, if the I am an entrepreneur, sorry. So you are an entrepreneur and your company pays taxes for you. So if you have a company, you need to pay taxes here. If you are a manager of your own company and if you don't pay taxes or contributions in other places. So yes, you need to provide information and you need to have an activity because you are an entrepreneur. Are there some special taxes for physical therapists here in Portugal? Yes, there are. The healthcare providers, they don't have VAT, they have exemption, okay? So they cannot deduct the VAT from the invoices for suppliers, but they don't need to pay VAT as well. So the healthcare, not the sports, because a lot of people think that being like a PT or sports person, there would be an exemption as well. No, it's really healthcare. So physical therapists, radiologists, everything that's providing these services. For the IRA situation above, should I declare an income in Ukraine still? The specific question is if it's how your income is being done. So if it has taxes there or not. If it doesn't has taxes there, you should declare income here from Ukraine, making the activity. My question is, how much taxes should I pay this year if I come to Portugal in April? Portugal is not a country that if you come here to live, you have taxes to pay, okay? You don't have any taxes to pay here. You can live here for 20 years and you don't have taxes. Of course, if you buy a house, you have on taxes, that's IMI, that's every year. If you purchase a car, you have IUC, it's a tax for the car. That's specific tasks. If you go to the supermarket, you have VAT. That's the taxes for consumption, okay? So for being here, you don't have any taxes, just if you have activity here, okay? So you came on April, probably if you are employed, and probably you won't have any taxes to pay. Should I provide any information in my company? Okay, which case? In which case, and how can I prove the taxes have been paid in another country? Social Security has, all Social Security for each country has a formulary that's called A1 that states which contributions you made from the last years. So if you have contributions made in the Social Security of Ukraine, you don't need to pay contributions here for Social Security if you are an entrepreneur, for example. Other taxes, the IRS and everything, the Portuguese government don't mind about that. They know if there are being taxes paid in other countries, okay? Because everything is connected. What taxes should I be paying in Portugal if I live in Portugal under temporary protection? Does work remotely? It's a situation of having an activity. If you have an activity, all of the information that I gave you before. I am employed in a Portuguese company since April, and the company pays IREX tax and social security tax. If I quit this job, can I get, yes, you can. For having, can I get a non-habitual resident status, that it is. The status doesn't come with the job. The status comes with the period of time that you are here in Portugal, and if you have a permanent residency, okay? So it can be. Should we declare our income from Ukraine and pay taxes in Ukraine? You don't need to declare it here. You just pay there. And probably it's similar to Portugal. So in the end of the year, you have to make a declaration of the things that you're receiving. Good evening. Do you have to provide NIF number in supermarkets? I can explain again. Do you have to provide your NIF number in supermarkets, fuel station, etc.? What advantages does that give? If yes, can you explain again what does the 705 amount means? 705, it's the minimal wage in Portugal. So everyone that's being contracted here, if it has 40 hours a week of work, needs to be paid 705. Lower than that it's prohibited. Okay, so if it's lower than that, you need to complain to the authorities. That's the minimal wage. So that's why the minimal wage doesn't have taxes, because the individuals with less income shouldn't pay taxes, only the individuals with most income. And what's to provide the NIF number in supermarkets? If your income is higher than the 705, for example, 1,000 euros, probably you will have a lower amount of IRS to pay. If you provide your NIF number to supermarkets, it's considered an expense. To medical services, healthcare services, it's considered an expense. It would lower all the amount of IRS that you need to pay, because you already paid a lot of things that they say, okay, if you paid for medical advices, if you paid for supermarkets, you don't have all that profit. So we're going to lower your IRS. I'm a private entrepreneur in Ukraine and pay taxes in Ukraine now. What if I take a mortgage for an apartment for a Portuguese bank? Do I become a taxpayer in Portugal? No, you don't become a taxpayer in Portugal. If you have a mortgage for an apartment here with a Portuguese bank, it's an expense as an individual. So you don't become a taxpayer here, but you become immediately a non-habitual residency, because it's your own house and it's your permanent address. If I have my company in Estonia, do I have to pay taxes on the dividends of an Estonia company in Portugal? If you receive, if you have dividends and they are being taxed in Estonia, that I know that doesn't have a lot of taxes, if they are being taxed in Estonia, you don't have any taxations here. Do you need to provide dividends? I'm just asking that, but because this is a situation that a lot of people that have companies in Estonia ask me this about the dividends in Estonia, but there are a lot of accountancy reasons not to make dividends and investments. Okay. If we receive an old age pension in Ukraine and financial aid in Portugal, is it legal? Yes, there are two different countries. Don't worry. If there's a financial aid in Portugal, they know that you have a pension in Ukraine. If I'm a freelancer, I don't have the contract, and I have a temporary protection and receive the profits from Malaysia, should the taxes be declared as green receipt, Recibo Verde? Should that be paid once a year once a quarter or every month. It's once a quarter. But yes, you receive those profits from Malaysia. You should be declaring green receipts because you're receiving that amount in your bank account. And every quarter, you provide the information. The information is there, but every quarter, the math is it's made. And for example, you won't have VAT, so you won't have anything to pay because you're working for an international company, so you don't have VAT. But after 1 year of exemption, you can have to pay Social Security, okay? That tax after 1 year, it's 21.4% of 80% of global income. In that time, it's easier to make a company to pay less Social Security. Please tell me what I need to do to stay here. I'm an individual entrepreneur and currently pay taxes in Ukraine. You can stay here all you want. For all of you, welcome. So you can stay here. You can have the residence here. You can make a lease contract in an apartment and be here already. You can have 183 days here and be a non-habitual residency. So you can stay here wherever you want. And as I was saying, you can be here and still be an individual entrepreneur in Ukraine, and they won't charge you anything for that, okay? Are there any such special taxes for psychologists in Portugal? Yes, the taxes, the healthcare tax, it's 0%. It's the same thing. And there's not a lot of information about it, okay? This is the special regime of the green receipts. The green receipts, the recibos verdes, have a list, a categorized list of all the professions, activities that they are included. Psychology, it is an inclusion, and the healthcare, psychology, and other situations, there are exemption of VAT. So I know this because of my work, but it's not really written anywhere else, okay? It's written in Tax Office Portugal, but it's written under the law. How can anyone having a contract with a foreign country become a client of your accountant company to deal with taxes? Anyone can do it, okay? Just contact me and see if it is beneficial for you to have a company here and be provided with services. If I'm a private entrepreneur in Ukraine, pay taxes there, do I need to pay anything in Ukraine or just report on what I pay there? You just need to report what you pay there. And I don't know if you, that's just a doubt that I have. I don't know if the declaration, the IRS declaration, there's a space to place what you pay there. I think there's only a space to place what you've earned there, okay?
Sorry, my name is Roman Suna. I'll just interrupt you just a bit because it's related to the question that you've just answered. First of all, thanks for your time. You made a great job for helping us and discover all this stuff. But just want to provide you a bit of context. What Ukrainian freelancers being here in Portugal a bit afraid of. So in Ukraine, a lot of freelancers or like developers, they are like self-employment person, which actually working for ourselves. So we don't have working contract with some company that paying taxes for us. So it looks like that we have contracts. For instance, I have a private entrepreneur registered in Ukraine under Ukrainian law and have signed contract with the UK company, for instance. Having this contract signed, I opening the special bank account that allows me to receive like euros or dollars to this account, and then made a conversation, and I'm free to use this money in my daily life as a person, right? So to do this, it calls in Ukraine like it has special regime of taxation in Ukraine. So under this regime, I just paying taxes on the income and just able to spend all this money to my needs. So we are making this activity in Ukraine and invoicing customer in UK monthly. In invoice and in a contract, there is mentioned that we are registered in Ukraine and our bank accounts are Ukrainian one. So there is any obstacles for us to live here in Portugal or any place in the world having this private entrepreneur registered in Ukraine, invoicing customer by the name of this entity from Ukraine and receive this money to Ukrainian bank account and then spend this money with the Ukrainian bank cards. Here is a question. Being here in Portugal under temporary protection and being in Portugal more than 183 days, having contract for the apartment that we are renting for the 1-2 more years, do we need to pay taxes for this income that we are invoicing from the Ukrainian private entity? So, okay, we don't need, right? So we are invoicing customer sending us money, we are paying taxes in Ukraine, and that's it. We are free to use this money. Here's the thing, when like next year, 2023, I need to have this declaration for the Portugal financials to say that I'm not earn anything in Portugal and renting apartments for the 1,000 euro per month, for instance, making like monthly purchases in up to 600-700 euros per month, and just paying nothing for the Portugal.
It is that.
Okay, what if like financials gonna send say to me like with a letter or something that, okay, we are thinking that you are hiding your income.
But you're not hiding your income because all of the countries have information about each other. So if you have a regulated company or a regulated self-employment contract in Europe, the Ukraine government, like you said you had, so you're paying taxes there, or you're paying all the taxes they ask you there. So
yeah,
if you have a regulated situation there, okay? So if you don't have a regulated situation, and if you want to receive the money on the Portuguese bank account, you need to regulate it here, okay? That's just what I'm saying. But there's no problem to being paid everything here, to have a house, to have a car, to make travels, to make everything. There's no problem. There's I don't know if you've heard, there's a new visa that's for freelancers here in Portugal. There is a new visa.
Is it in it? It's
this?
No.
It's a new one that is for digital nomads.
Okay.
Is it out officially?
Yes, it is out officially, yes.
Because I couldn't find information. I'm following this topic.
But it is out officially. So if you go to SAF, there's all the information. I know because I saw on the SAF portal. So if you have that visa for digital nomad, they just need you to prove that you earn that amount per month, that you have money to be here. They don't care where the money comes from. They just need to know that you're not going to need the Portuguese government to leave the country, for example. Okay? Because there's a lot of situations here in Portugal that people came here to visit and run out of money and didn't had way to come back to their countries. They just need to know that, do you have an employment everywhere else? Do you have anything? They just need, did you have a permanent house? They are not living in the streets, because we don't want you to live in the streets. It's dangerous. Okay, so do you have a house? Do you have a contract? Do you have money for your expenses? That's all they want to know. They are not against you. They're trying to protect you. Just that, from the digital nomads. Okay, and you have like an insurance. You will have opportunity to go to the national healthcare system here in Portugal, and if you are a digital nomad as well, but they ask to have an additional insurance to be here if something happens. Just that. Okay. But if there is no problem to be here, I don't know. I have clients that have been here for 30 years. They never worked a day in their life in Portugal. Mm-hmm. They're here for 30 years because the taxes that you pay here, that's the supermarket taxes to buy that, the airport exchanges, everything, that's taxes. Okay. It's not the activity taxes, because you have regulated activity in the other place, but it is taxes. You're paying for your bread, VIT, 6%, you're paying for potatoes and everything. So that's the way that you pay your taxes. So don't worry, okay?
Got it.
Thank you so much, Suzanne. And
sorry to interrupt. And even for your landlord, they don't mind, because if your landlord is giving you rent receipts, they are paying taxes as well.
Yeah, so, I know this, but just another thing here. What do I need to do? And at the end of the year, should I like fill this declaration with like zero income in Portugal, or
no, zero income in Portugal, or the income that you have registered it there?
Registered in Ukraine.
In Ukraine, but there's no double taxation, so it's zero taxes for Portugal. Okay, don't worry.
Okay, but the tax in Ukraine is much less than in Portugal. Should I pay difference in taxes after?
No. That's why there's a double agreement. Okay,
got it. So with the help of accountant, I can like ask and have this consultation or like help for me in this situation, just to help me to fill this declaration.
Yes.
And something and just like fill these fields and show the income that I have in Ukraine with paid taxes there, right?
Yes, it's something.
Sorry to interrupt you. I have just some addition to Roman's question. You see, in a lot of places, I have seen that what you have told, it's everything right. But some accountants say that if you are a private entrepreneur in Ukraine and you pay these special taxes, which we have, it's a tax, but it's a special one. And it's like 5% only. And you are a private entrepreneur. Some accountants here in Portugal say that you have to pay taxes, still to have paid taxes in Portugal. What can you say about it? Is it like absolutely not true?
No, it's about the activity that you make here and you make there. If you're talking about the 5% taxes in Ukraine, and you have there a corporate situation, like a limited, okay, or you're receiving for a Ukraine company, what's the situation?
I'm private entrepreneur. I'm like a company myself, but it's not a company. It is a special taxation way. Yes.
Okay.
So I'm only private entrepreneur. Mm-hmm.
You pay their social security?
It's called in different way, but yeah, that's
okay. And you pay the 5%?
Yeah.
So you don't have to pay nothing here.
Okay. Good. Got it. Thank you.
You just have to pay here the thing that everyone told you. It's if you want to have an activity here.
Yeah, if I am employed here and I get money
Yes.
here, that's clear. Yeah, then I'm all taxation.
That's different, okay? So if you have a company, a limited company here, the social security will get higher. But it's a different situation, and the taxes are different. And the taxes are different if you are an individual, a small entrepreneur, as if you may call it, okay? But if you pay those things there, you don't need to pay here. We do this every day. We have a lot of foreign entrepreneurs that come here to open their businesses because there are a lot of situations that are beneficial here in Portugal. They come here to open their business, and they provide me for a formulary from Social Security of their origin country, place the document on a Portuguese Social Security, and here they say, okay, we don't need taxes from this person.
Susan,
that goes together with that goes together with NHR status, yes?
Yes.
So I need to apply for NHR status with your help as an accountant help or a lawyer, and then in the end of the year I need to fulfill the documents about my income, but I need also to apply for this NHR status.
The application is quite simple. You all have contributive numbers or Portuguese contributive numbers. And probably you already have the password for the tax office portal, right?
Yeah.
Pronto. There you go to a place like the search place and see certificates. When you place certificates, there's the option there if you want to try it. Okay, just to see it.
Okay, not now, but I will.
Yeah, I know. It's just for you to see if you need some help with that or not, because here we do everything online, you know, and in the tax office portal, they do that to provide information for everyone and to be easier for everyone. Not the activity, like Katya said. Okay, the activity is quite difficult.
Okay, I got it. So I will apply for NHR through the like this portal.
Yes,
Should
and
I
of
do it
course you
in
can
the end of the
contact.
year? Sorry, should I do it in the end of the year now when it's better to do it?
When the termination of certificate of temporary protection, probably it's after 6 months, I believe.
1 year.
1 year. So like 2 months before that, because it takes
So
about
I need to apply.
It takes about like 1 month for them to evaluate and to say yes.
Okay, I got it. So at least 2 months before I need to apply for an HR. Then in the end, in April, I need to fulfill the documents like for my income in Ukraine, but for that income, I don't have to pay anything, even if I'm a private entrepreneur. Okay, thank you.
And even if you are not collecting any money in Portugal for a Portuguese company or something, probably you won't have to deliver IRS. I'm just not saying to everyone that you don't need to deliver, because I don't know what's going to be the rules for the temporary protection, okay?
Yeah.
Because everyone else, even migrants and everything, they don't need to do it if they receive under 705 euros per month. But I don't know if they are going to make mandatory for Ukrainians, okay?
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. Obrigado.
Oh, hello, Suzanne. My name is Anastasia. Thank you so much for all the information provided today. This is very helpful. And I actually have pretty same situation as Roman has mentioned before. And one thing, as I understood, is that like we don't have to pay anything in Portugal unless we pay it in Ukraine. But however, to get money on Portugal bank account, we cannot like just transfer our Ukrainian income to Portugal bank account and pay nothing. Is that correct? So do I need the NHR to get money on Portugal?
No, you can transfer, but I have to warn everyone that you have that law of the 2,000 euros, okay? So doesn't matter who's going to receive on the bank account the money. Every time someone receives a total transfer above 2,000 euros, the Portugal bank issues a red flag to see what's happening, why someone is being paid over 2,000 euros, okay? So that's why I'm preventing and warning you about it. Doesn't mean that you cannot have that here. It just means that you just need to justify it. Even you have a call for your bank saying, oh, they are pressuring me because I need to know why you transferred 10,000 euros here. You can say, oh, it's for my activity in Ukraine. I am an entrepreneur there. I have everything there. So this is because of that. And if so, there's no problem, okay? I'm just warning you because you can have phone calls asking for that, but you can have money here. You don't need to pay taxes for that. You can, it is your money.
Understood. And then also a question. So we will still continue on the example that Roman provided. So he mentioned he has a customer, he's a contractor to UK-based company. So for example, same with me. And if I decide to stay in Portugal and I want to sign a direct agreement as a contractor with, let's say, USA-based company, and I will become the NHR in Portugal. Could you please give a brief summary of what you mentioned in terms of taxes and rates for the different income thresholds?
You're considering opening activity in Portugal or not?
Yes. So as I understood, I need to open an activity in Portugal to register in order to sign a direct contract with a US-based company.
So until if you open an individual activity with non-accountancy, it's not non-accountancy, it's not organized accountancy. For each 1,000 euros you received, they will state that 80% is profit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if 80% is profit, in the end of the year, when you make the declaration, the IRS, you will ask to pay 20% of that amount. But there's a limit here in Portugal of 12,500. So that's just after 12,500. Until that amount, you don't have IRS to pay. So after that amount, if you receive like 30,000, it's the difference 30,000 and 12,500. It's that difference that is going to have the 20%. That's one situation. If your income is higher than those amounts, I would recommend to have an organized accountancy, because in this way, it's not going to be 80% profit. It's going to be the actual profit. So you place all your expenses, rents, travels, everything that you make, computers, internet, phone, everything, every bill that you have connected to your enterprise or connecting to your activity. And then you will lower a profit, and then you will pay 20% over that profit only. Okay, 20%.
And what do you call this second option? Non-organized?
The first is organized. The second one it's other way around. The first was non-organized accountancy. The second one it's organized accountancy. And sorry, let me correct. I was telling 20% for the organized. It's not that, sorry. It's 17% for profit. If the profit is under 15,000 euros per year, and 21% of the profit if it is over 15,000 euros per year. Okay.
And
if it is,
sorry, go ahead.
No, if it is the accountancy is well made, if it is corrected, if you have a quarter analysis and everything, it should be every time be lower than 15,000 euros a year. Okay, just for activity purposes and benefits.
And what are the requirements to register organized accountancy in Portugal?
It's the same thing as Katya said, make the declaration, but you just need to have an accountant. If you make a non-organized accountancy, you don't need to have an accountant. Just to make the beginning of the activity, it's better. But to have an organized accountancy, you need to have an accountant to do that. It's like a responsible for your activity.
Okay. So even if I'm kind of like a one person, not the business, I just can hire accounting to help me make the bookings.
but here in Portugal, the individuals can be a business.
Okay. Understood. And also one question. I think I heard you mention something like if you lease an apartment in Portugal, you kind of like by default, you become the NHR. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
So,
if it is under your name.
Okay.
And your number.
And if it's, for example, on the name of my husband?
No, that's the same thing because you are together. So the IRS is made together. So it is your permanent address. Usually, the receipt of the rent comes 50% in one, 50% in the other. Okay?
I see. Understood. Thank you so much
Usually
for clarification. Okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm just checking if there is.
Sorry, can I have a quick question about the local bank account? Like you mentioned that we can actually put money on local bank account. So if like me, by myself, I put money and I'm having there. So it's like not a reason to pay taxes on this amount. Did I understand correctly?
Yes, there are no taxes over the amount of money that you place in the bank. Okay, there are no taxes. There are taxes over incomes, just that. So the bank account, it's different than the business. So every time you receive an income, whether it's from a working company, Portuguese company, foreign company, or every time you make a green slip, everything, that's the income. It's the only thing that's taxable. Okay. Every time you place money, sometimes they give you benefits in the bank for you to place money there. They need money there. They want money there. Okay. It's different, but you don't have taxes because of that, because it is your money. Probably they're just going to ask you, where did this money come from? It's easier for you to say, like, have a temporary residency. My country, unfortunately, is at war, and I need money for my account. So I'm providing my bank account, Portuguese bank account, with my savings, and everything is correct. They place like savings and they don't ask you any questions.
Understood. Thank you very much.
I'm just saying this because I think it's important. I understood royalties is tax exemption only. If the taxes have been paid in another country, I get my dividends from America website that uses my contact. I sign a formula that reduces taxation from USA side from 30% to 10%. And non-US residents by the double taxation agreement between USA and Portugal. What confuses me is the question, if the W8 ban form proves I pay taxes to USA or that I have to pay it in Portugal to be reduced in USA. This formulary is not for Portugal, it is for the USA. So they are used to give formularies to us, but we fill them out and USA takes care of it. If you already place this formulary under the US, they have the taxes there and your benefits there. Portugal, if it wants information, can contact directly the US, and if they need that information, they will. They contact directly to see if you pay taxes there, but you're not going to pay taxes because you're paying there, okay? But these formularies are for them. And they make a lot of them, like Uber or Glovo and everything. They have a lot of formularies, even they're not from USA, and we have to fill them out only with our credentials here in Portugal, business credentials, just for them to have information. But here we don't need those formularies. If they want information, they will get it.
Okay, thank you. And could you tell me, please, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Oh, cool. So should I give something to sorry, yeah, like any proof, like this form or the contract? What should I provide when I
the only thing, because it is a dividend, you can declare it on the IRS if you want, because it's tax-free, but you don't need to declare it, just need to declare income. So something, it stays between you and
okay,
USA.
I mean, I make a living from this, so if I declare like nothing, it might give some problems in the future. So
it is a difference, because you live from this, but your activity is like based there. You understand?
My passivity, yeah.
Because the activity, you're receiving money from there to there, right? How can I place this? When you're doing an activity, I'm here doing an activity with you, right? But if I make it a video call to UK, I have to provide taxes there because I made a video call to UK, but I'm not in UK. So it's the same thing. The services that you're receiving from is in the USA. The income is there and you're receiving there. That's why they need this taxation. If it was different, if you had an activity in Portugal and you provide invoices for that, for those dividends and everything, you would pay taxes here and not the 30% there. Are you getting me? Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. I was.
It's just because the money is made there because of the website and it's received there. That's why you have this tax.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. If everything resolves and I decide to come back to Ukraine, it is fast to close any activity done online. Yes, there is. It is very fast. For example, today is 8th of September. If someone asks me to, some client, of course, I can close the activity of 31 of August. Okay, so it's something that it's made like in 5 minutes. So I'm a private entrepreneur, self-employed in Ukraine, and I'm on simplified tax system. All income I have got as entrepreneur after fixed tax was paid in Ukraine is my private income. Should I declare this income and pay taxes? No, because you are have a simplified tax system and you are entrepreneur there. So you have a fixed tax there for what you're doing. Well, I guess I must rephrase. I think I already answered this, sorry. Well, I guess I must rephrase my question. I'm a private entrepreneur. I came in Portugal in April. I have several active contracts in Ukraine and I get active income. I receive payments to Ukraine bank. As long as I understand, this month, 183 days since arrival, I become a tax resident. But different sources provide different information about how much money should I declare and how much taxes I should pay. Since the taxes, the income is provided for Ukraine, you don't need to pay taxes here. You only need to pay taxes there. So if they ask you to make the declaration of IRS, like I told you, I don't know if they're going to ask the Ukrainians to make one for having more information. I don't know what's going to happen. They didn't do that yet. And you will have to state how much income that you received in Ukraine. Then after you send that, they're going to connect without you knowing, connect to the government of Ukraine to see if the income is correct and if you're really were taxed there. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Hello, should I pay taxes declare if I receive payments to my Portuguese bank account from Ukraine one, or my husband in case a registered private entrepreneur here? Okay, if you are a registered private entrepreneur here, if you receive money from the bank account that's related to your activity that you're invoicing, you need to pay taxes, okay? Because you're a private entrepreneur here in Portuguese government. And if you're receiving, like you issue an invoice of 3,000 euros and you receive 3,000 euros, you need to declare that you received 3,000 euros because of your activity.
Sorry, this is my question. I mean, for example, yes, I sent Recibo Verde and I received some money from this receipt, but to the same account, for example, I moved some saved money from Ukrainian bank account, and also my husband also sent to Portuguese account some money. Should I declare them or not?
No. Just declare the money that is from activities. Just
from Recibo Verde. I got, yeah?
Yes. If the receiver is 3,200 and something, you should have a transfer of 3,200 and something. Just declare the money from receiver. Every other transfers are not from receiver.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you for the support.
Okay. I am an individual in Ukraine and also individual entity in Portugal. Do you have to pay the tax difference in Portugal? This is a tough one. If you have green receipts here in Portugal, you need to pay taxes here in Portugal, but probably you need to decide which one do you want to maintain, okay? Not to be a double taxation, because there's no way of you're issuing invoices in Ukraine and they say, oh, we don't need taxes. And there's no way if you're issuing invoices in Portugal, they say, we don't need taxes. So you should, as a contractor, talk to your clients and decide in which country you want to pay taxes, okay? So if my husband sends me a salary from Ukraine on my Portugal car amount of 2,000, will be questioned? No, because you have his payslip. Always have a proof. It doesn't mean that they're going to ask you everything. Sometimes when there are foreign people, they do that just because they need to know if there are illegal activities, just that. There's no, they don't disregard anyone. It's just, I have a lot of foreign clients and I see that once in a while the bank calls me to ask why that money entered the bank, the business bank or something. And I provide for an invoice, or I provide for an invoice for a supplier to make justification of that enter or leaving of that money. It's just them to know if it is a illegal question. But it doesn't mean it's going to happen to you. It's just a way of warning you, okay? So if you have this green slip, the pay slip, you have the justification if they ask you. Is there any portal website where I can find an accountant? Hello. It's me. You can send me some information. There is a widespread opinion that private entrepreneur income is not covered by any convention between Ukraine and PT. Only corporate tax and individual tax income are covered. We don't have this difference. When I said to the other girl, we as individuals can be a business. It doesn't matter if we have our personal NIF or if we have a corporate NIF contributive number, okay? So we don't have this expression as you have in Ukraine, private entrepreneur income, Ukraine FOP. When we have individual income tax or corporate tax, it's the same thing. We don't have the entrepreneur income FOP. So the convention gathers the both things, because you can have individual income, but your individual income can be a business. A lot of times you go to a coffee, drink coffee, and when the invoice comes, it is a person that is a business. So they can have that business for 50 years under their individual contributive number. So there's not an issue here. So the convention is between every income, because we just have two types of income, individual or business income. And the individual can be a business. Not income itself, but special FOP, simplified tax regime. It's the regime that I was telling you about. We don't have that, but we have the situation of individual with non-organized accountancy. That's you pay 20% of the 80% of all overall income. You don't need an accountant to that. You just need to pay the 20% of the 80% overall. NHR deadline for apply HR application, but be submitted by inclusive as year after. Yes, it is true. Should be placed until the 31 of March. That's why I told you that you have a temporary residency. You should do it 2 months earlier. Okay. There is a social security deductions for the company if you are independent contractor and has a contract with the company. For example, a 10% contribution rate is due by a company if 80% of more fees earned by self-employed conference services for the same company. I don't understand this question, sorry, because I don't understand where these percentages come from. We only have 3 types of deductions, social security deductions in Portugal. 11%, all of us pay 11%. There is for the benefits of unemployment or healthcare or pension, elderly pension. And then if you are a company and you need to pay your employees, there's a plus tax of 23.75% of their income. That's overall the 11%. And if you are an individual entrepreneur, it's 21.4%. So I'm trying to understand this question, but you can contact me with further details. Okay, sorry, Anatoly. I don't know if I'm saying correctly. Okay. We have temporary protection status and do not have activity. We don't need to have NHR now. No, you don't have to have NHR now because you're residents now. You now are a resident. Why being unemployed in a company should we pay taxes for salary bonuses? Yes, for salary bonuses, there's 1 bonuses per year that doesn't have social security, but it has IRS. Okay, but yes, when being an employee in a company, you have to pay IRS taxes for salary bonuses. So I don't have any more questions. I don't know, Katrina, if this was good enough for you.
Well, this was just amazing. I think all these people, they must feel now relieved and also supported with information you've provided. Also, guys, I sent all of you today in email Susanna's contacts. In that email, you also have contacts of our project from Ukraine to Portugal. You have there a lot of other information, and you have also my contacts. When I send you record, link to the record, I will send you Susanna's contacts once again, and I also send her contacts here in the chat. If you could share on your Instagram or something what an webinar you just attended, tag from Ukraine to Portugal project, please. And it's from Ukraine to Portugal everywhere: Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and the website you have. Yeah, Susanna, thank you once again. This was a personal request to you, and you see how many people we have. Yeah, tomorrow you will get the link, and somewhere next week we'll try to make the essence in Russian. So for people who do not speak English well enough. So Susanna, thank you, and I see a lot of messages. Yes, guys, I'm glad that
Bye-bye.
you
Thank you, everyone, and
had
welcome to
useful evening.
Portugal.
You had the useful evening. Okay, have a nice weekend, everyone.
And be
Susanna.
well. Thank you. If you need,
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you.
This is very
Thank you,
helpful.
Svetlana.
if you need anything, contact me. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Katerina, also thank you very much for organizing this.
Yeah, пожалуйста, you're welcome.
Very much.
Thank you, Susanna.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Good luck, guys, with your stay in Portugal. I wish reason you came here was different. I came because of the war in 2014. I'm from Donetsk, so here we are. Well, beijinhos para todos. Bye bye.
Beijinhos, querida. Tchau.